Hello everybody and welcome to a very special video. This video will be detailing the entirety of the Scavenging Grand Acquisitions race, the live event that's been going on for the past few days on the SWTOR servers. Now, one thing to keep in note is by the time this video is out, this event will already be over, so don't take this as a guide, but rather take this as a historical account of what happened, which is my goal for this video. So if you've ever missed the event, or if you just want to go back and remember what happened, then this video is exactly for you. Or if you're just, interested in what happened and you don't play Star Wars, so this is also another thing. This is the second major event that Star Wars has done since the release of the game, and this video in particular will be covering just the Republic footage. They did have Republic and Empire different sides of the entire event, so the video that will be released, and or you can just find it at the end of this video with a link, will be the Empire one. So without further ado, let's watch the first dialogue sequence for this event.
Reports continue to come in regarding recent activity from the Scavenging conglomerate, the Scavenging government condemned for its slaving and ties to criminal syndicates. Recently, emissaries from the Scavenging conglomerate have approached mercenaries and scavengers across dozens of worlds. The reason? Unknown, but many speculate. We appear to have suffered a brief technical fault. Psst, Taro, switch the feed.
So basically it sends me to Nar Shaddaa next. I come up to this giant holographic statue thing, interact with the keypad, and it sends me into another dialogue sequence where I can find out what actually is going on here. And then from here, I go all the way to Coruscant, a planet I haven't been to in a long time on this character. As a note about this character, I am doing these two event videos on two separate characters that you guys rarely get to see, my Jedi Consular, which is this one, and my Sith Warrior, which will be the one in the next video.
Please don't speak. Your end of the line isn't secure. Call me Agent Riho. I'm with Republic SIS. The Scavenging conglomerate is a group of unscrupulous thugs. I believe their grand acquisitions race is actually a cover for a bigger plot, but I need data. Several Scavenging just arrived from off-world. Please, take the listening device attached to this transmitter and plant it nearby. See what they say. Help me and I'll help you acquire some of the items on your list. You'll be duly compensated. Riho, signing off.
Okay, so as you see there, I got to talk to an SIS agent for the Republic, and my next part of the mission is to go and plant this listening device in front of these Scavenging. But the problem is that they're looking at the thing I need to plant the listening device into, so I need to cause a distraction by blowing up this payphone booth or telephone booth or whatever you want to call it, which just seems rude, and I'm sure there's a Doctor Who joke in there somewhere that I could come up with, but I'm not going to. So for whatever reason, they turn around and they're like, why did that thing blow up? And I just walk up and plant the listening device and then run away snickering and calling them suckers, which I don't understand why they were distracted by the phone booth. Don't ask me. But then I come over here and I'm able to listen in on the thing by looking at this hollow terminal pad thing on the ground. Don't ask me, it's just there for looks.
Tiempiesi sitten, kun liitties mua.
Jopechutta, kasojeli roita, do kapakayota.
Matias wat kwaiet, liitjas kelemaniastek.
What fleet? This is bigger than I thought. We need to dig deeper. Tracking Darister. That scum carries packages for Shevan slavers. Maybe you can persuade him to cough up some information. I'll be in touch.
So now I have to go all the way back to Nar Shaddaa, and this is a bit annoying, but it's one of those things that's just part of the live event. There's a lot of running back between Coruscant and Nar Shaddaa, or in the case of the Empire, between Drome and Kos and Nar Shaddaa. Now, it's actually not that big of a deal, because if you know where all the quest objectives are, it's fairly easy to go and just do one entire planet. So once I got to Coruscant, I probably could have just done everything at once, but I hadn't done it on the Republic yet, so I was in the process of learning this all. Now, for the Empire, I managed to get it done in about an hour total with all of the quests, and I only went to each planet once, so it was actually fairly nice in terms of how quickly I could get it done versus how quickly I got it done the first time through. Now, we just have to kill this defector. You saw I killed the Guardian probe first. He was basically making the defector immune to damage. I'm going to run over here. I'm going to pick up the data on him, and I have to take it back to the SIS agent at one of these other hollow terminal pad thingies that are just randomly spread out on the ground here. Like, I don't... Who even put these in? Who was hired to install these, really?
Agent Riho here. I've been studying the data you got from Darister and admiring how you handled him. According to Darister's intel, several Shevan High Inquisitors are meeting on Nar Shaddaa. There's gotta be answers there. If you could listen in on that meeting without being seen, we could crack this thing wide open. If you're game, notify me when you're in position.
And from here, I have to go to a casino. And once I'm at the casino, like so, then I found this vent. You click on the activation controls, and then the vent allows you to jump from place to place. You just stand on the green circle, and it would launch you to the next area, given enough time, like so. And then from here, it launches you again, and then again. And now you're at the area where you can eavesdrop in on the meeting. This meeting does change based on the Empire and the Republic. The person talking to the Shevan changes, that is.
You're sadly mistaken. And this pathetic scavenger hunt won't buy any good graces.
So, the Empire's interested too. But those ideograms that Shevan mentioned, I can look into that. Listen, please, don't give those items to the Shevan. Place them in Republic custody. I have a dead drop that's secure, but we can't let them fall into Shevan hands. I need to complete my investigation. If my suspicions are right, I'll keep you informed.
Now it's from here that I managed to get a couple more quests. You can see a lead and a new lead on the quest tracking there, and one of them happens to be here on Nar Shaddaa. It's kind of a race quest. Kind of. Basically, I just have to help the Hutts win. So I come over here to the terminal, I click on it, it gives me 30 seconds. I'm able to run over to this mine that happens to be in the lane of my my racing droid, move it over one to cheat on that one, and then, well, I guess do something with this. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm sabotaging it, I guess. And what that's going to do is it's going to electrocute the other droid in the red lane. My droid spawns in the blue one, and the other two are the evil droids that must be vanquished, and I must win the race, apparently. This is a big deal for the Hutts. Don't ask me why or how. It just is a big deal. So there they go. They're off. My droid is already behind like a total loser. The mine happens to work, and I'm able to have only one competitor in the race at the moment. He gets electrocuted. I'm able to continue moving on all the way around until I win the race. Once I win it, I can go turn this back into the droid that I got the quest from, and that gives me yet another piece on the list of things I need to apprehend. I don't know what you want to call it. The scavenging list? That's the best way to describe it, I guess. So let's talk to him and get my reward.
La llama visto traga ima cha tumicha. Wana mula devoto, wana wanti wanda, yatukaluka.
Okay, so I get a couple of those tokens, which are used to purchase things from the event, and I managed to get over here to this other quest that I have here on Nar Shaddaa, and this one's much easier.
Hello again. The droid's been feeding me data for a while. I think this is the real deal. There's a glitch in the Nar Shaddaa transport system. Centuries old. Maybe manufactured by its architects. If you take a public speeder to these coordinates, it should get you closer to this plasma sealed jar.
And now I get to do this quest. This quest is actually really fun. You get to apprehend one of these speeder bikes, and once you click on this, two guys spawn, you kill them, you get the speeder bike. I'll talk a little bit about that more in a second. I did mention that you can get these tokens, which are used to purchase items throughout the event. There's a vendor that was here on Nar Shaddaa. You can search through a ton of stuff. There's things like bowcasters, which are like crossbow-looking versions of sniper rifles and blaster rifles. Now, that is obviously very specific to certain classes and advanced classes and companions. So you can't be like a Jedi Knight running around with a bowcaster, unfortunately. But they are bind to legacy, which makes it a lot easier, because that also allows you to transfer your barrels and whatnot between characters. Just an easier way to do it. Now, you saw me just jump off Leap of Faith there. That's what you do for the quest. This speeder bike is really broken down and not very good. That's actually available as a mount that you can buy, a rank 1 mount. Run over here, get this, another item off of the list, and I go back over to where I came from, and then from there, I managed to do this quest. Now, this quest is also very interesting. It's a lockbox, and you have to go over to 3 terminals, very specific in the location for each faction. This one, I'm only going to show you one because they're all exactly the same, except more mobs come out for all 3 of them. It gives you a buff. The buff is a line of code. There's 3 lines of code, so you have to do 3 of these terminals, basically. Once you get all 3, you can go back to the box and you can put in the code to open it, I guess. That's the best way to describe it. Now, these guys aren't very hard to take out, so once you get them, you acquire the code. I went and did all 3. You can see I got the buffs there. I'm able to look at them and see, okay, sequence 1, 2, and 3. I know that which come in order, and I'm able to see, okay, that's the code that I need to click on, unlock that, and yet another thing off of the list for the scavenging items. Now, this one is a bit more interesting. It also has a dialogue sequence, kind of, so we'll look at that.
Atungi ma chechu, I kutsi nankihe.
Now, basically, this bounty hunter beat me to it, so I have to follow him, and as I'm following him, there's these green circles that I click on, and it leads me into another clue of where he went. So you just basically follow the leader. Going from green circle 1 to green circle 2, which is out in the open a little bit. See where he goes again. Bit of strange character pop in that one. Don't judge me. It's Nar Shaddaa. It's not very optimal for any computer. I think we're closing in on his position, so let's go to the last major one before we can actually summon him as a defeatable enemy. Now this one leads me over to these boxes over here, which if you already have done it, this is one of the ways to get up to a holocron on Nar Shaddaa, but all we have to do is get up here, click on the green thing, and the bounty hunter will come down and face me. So just a little short cinematic. I hop off these boxes here, and I try to kill this guy. I don't really play this character that much, so the rotation is just bad. So to spare you the pain and suffering, I'm just going to skip through until he's actually dead, run over, loot him, get the item. That's yet another item off of this awesome list that I have to obtain. Now this one's a bit more interesting. I got to escort this droid, basically. This droid's going to go around and see all these like strange things. Like he'll just scan things like so, right? So he's going to run over here, scan it. Now you get ambushed halfway through his little pathing. You destroy the rackles that come out on this one. It's a little different on the Empire. And you repair him. Once he's repaired, you can take him back up the little steps there in the background that you see, and he'll lead you to another item. So this is actually on Coruscant, not on Nar Shaddaa. Keep that in mind. I went back and had to go grab this one. So here's the item here. You just click on the box once he reveals it. And voila, yet another item off of the crazy list. Now for this one, it's a turret section. So basically you just get on the turret, like so, and you just point your camera in the direction of the enemies that are coming at you in waves. The fire rate isn't very averaged. It's kind of random when you're pointing. I'm sure there's a way to do it that's much easier, but eventually this guy comes out and you have to kill him. He takes less damage, he has more HP. It's fairly typical. Once he's dead, you're able to hit one of the movement keys and it pulls you off of the turret. Then once you're off the turret, you can turn in the quest. I actually got stuck in combat with one of the guys I mixed, so I had to kill him real quick, come back, and then click on the box like so and get yet another item. So we're dwindling down that list fairly quickly here. This one is a little bit of a puzzle. The Empire has one similar to it, not quite the same though. So for this one, I have to get the colors in the middle there, in that little circle, I have to get them all yellow. So that's what I'm going to do. You just go around one by one on these panels, and you get them to yellow. If you see on the right there, now behind me a little bit to the right, there's the colors on the ground. That's how you determine which colors they need to go into. It's where you get the quests. So this one has to be purple on the second ring here. You just once again go to all of the different consoles, switch them to purple, got one left, and then once you get the purple, it then opens up the third ring. Third ring, exact same thing, you just switch to green. I'd have to say this one is actually a lot easier to do than the Empire one. You'll see that in the Empire video. The Empire one involves you guiding a beam of a laser beam off of mirrors and stuff, so you have to move the mirrors and they have to hit a console, so it's a little bit more complicated than this one. Although this one it's fun, you know, it's easy and fun. You click on the box, you get the item, and another one down. So this one is also, it's similar to the turret section where waves of enemies come at you, except in this case it's actually not very difficult. It's just waves of enemies that, you know, are pretty weak, and then a larger guy comes, you kill him, then you loot the box, you get the item. As far as more things that you can go and get with the tokens from the vendor on Nar Shaddaa, you're looking at things like a red sand people, not sound people, like some guy in a sound booth outfit. No, a sand people outfit that's completely red, or it has red parts to it, so it's different than the one you can get through social. And then there's a pet and the speeder bike I mentioned. This quest is just a bonus off of the main one. You just find these boxes, you have a chance of getting a pet out of them, but you get tokens and then you get the pieces for the bonus quest. This bonus quest gets you the last thing on the list before you can go and turn it in. Once you get it, you can turn it in here, and this will give you your title and items once you're done turning it into either the Shevan or the Republic. So if you turn it into the Shevan, you get a title called the Capable Sentient, which is actually a really cool title. It's dark-sided. If you turn it into the Republic, you get an SIS title, which is light-sided option. Now, in the next video, we'll be showing you all about the Empire's side of things.